In the silent hours of the night, when most of the world sleeps, a wealthy, educated businesswoman named Ayla Raza lay in a hospital bed, unable to walk, unable to speak properly, and unable to understand how life had collapsed so fast. Once known for her beauty, success, and confidence, she had lived a reckless life, trusting wrong people, making dangerous choices, and ignoring every warning her mind whispered. What started as a thrill turned into an addiction. What began as excitement became her destruction. Her careless attachments with different men, her disregard for her health, and her constant chase of temporary pleasures slowly poisoned her body from the inside. And now, doctors stood around her, whispering words she never imagined hearing at 28. Advanced cancer, severe internal damage, very little time. But this story is not just about her fall. It's about the night she finally woke up. The night she cried for help, not from people, but from God. The night she raised her trembling hands for tahajjud after years and said, "If you give me one more chance, I will change everything." What happened next is a journey of pain, punishment, mercy, and transformation, a story that proves one truth.
The night Ayla cried in the hospital was not just a night of regret. It was the beginning of a war she never expected to fight. When the morning sun touched the window of her room, she opened her eyes with a new kind of awareness. She felt weak, fragile, and exhausted, but inside her something had shifted. A quiet determination had awakened. But life does not reward change immediately. Life first tests it. The first diagnosis meeting began when doctors entered her room with reports in their hands. Their faces were calm, but their eyes told a different story. One doctor spoke gently. "Ayla, your condition is serious. Your body has been under severe stress for a long time. We have to begin treatment immediately. It will be painful. It will take time. And you will need discipline." The word discipline hit her deeply. She had lived many years without it. Now her freedom was gone. Her choices were gone. Her control was gone. She only nodded. She had no strength to argue with destiny. Then the painful days began. Treatment started the same day. Needles, machines, cold hospital rooms, sleepless nights, endless weakness, shaking hands, tired eyes, a dry throat, and a body that no longer listened to her. Every day was heavier than the last. Her hair began to fall. Her skin lost its glow. Her energy faded like a dying candle. Sometimes she could not even lift a glass of water without help. The girl who once walked confidently in high heels now could not walk 10 steps without support. But the physical pain was not the worst part. The worst part was silence. No phone calls, no messages, no friends visiting. People who once admired her beauty disappeared. People who once used her vanished. People she trusted forgot her. Pain taught her a truth she had ignored for years. Some people stay only when life shines, but when darkness comes, only Allah remains. Her nights of reflection were long. When the hospital became quiet and the machines beeped softly, Ayla stared at the ceiling and thought about her past. Every wrong choice, every ignored warning, every careless step, every moment she traded peace for temporary excitement, every time she chose distraction over discipline. She whispered to herself, "I wasted so much for nothing." Tears wet her pillow again and again, but now they were tears of awakening. One night at 3 a.m., Ayla woke up with a strange peace in her heart. Her body was weak, but her spirit pulled her toward her Lord. She slowly sat up. The 4-line tugged at her arm. Her legs trembled, but she placed her feet on the cold hospital floor. She stood beside her bed, hands shaking, eyes full of tears, voice trembling, and she prayed. She prayed with a heart that finally understood its emptiness.
Ayla's journey toward healing was far from easy, but something inside her had changed forever. She no longer woke up with fear. She woke up with purpose. She no longer counted her losses. She counted her blessings. She no longer asked, "Why me?" She asked, "What can I learn?" Her body was still weak, her steps still slow, and her energy still limited, but her heart had become stronger than it had ever been. She spent her mornings reading quietly, her afternoons in treatment, and her nights in deep reflection. She no longer waited for people. She waited for peace. She no longer chased voices around her. She chased a voice within her, that gentle voice that whispered, "Move forward." One evening, the doctor entered her room with another report in his hand. His expression was calm but hopeful. Allah, you are improving faster than we expected. Your strength, your mindset, your discipline, they are making a difference. Allah closed her eyes, thanking the one who was guiding her through every storm. She whispered, Ya Allah, thank you for giving me another chance. Weeks passed, and her condition slowly grew better. Her body responded to treatment. Her pain lessened. Her steps became steadier. She could walk longer than before, sit without constant discomfort, and breathe without fear. The nurses often said, your patience is healing you. And she knew it was true, but she also knew something else. It wasn't just patience.it, was prayer.it, was humility.it, was the acceptance that life is not about perfection, it's about direction. One late night, she stood near the hospital window. The city lights glowed below, but her heart glowed stronger. She looked at the sky and whispered, I wasted years trying to impress the world. Now, I want to impress only you. That night, she prayed with a heart that felt light for the first time in years. She thanked for the pain that awakened her, for the loss that purified her, and for the silence that taught her the value of peace. When the final stage of her treatment ended, the doctors told her she could return home if she followed strict care and a disciplined routine. Hearing this, she didn't smile with excitement, she smiled with gratitude. She walked out of the hospital not as the woman who entered months ago, but as someone reborn. She had left behind not only illness, but ego, carelessness, and the broken patterns that once controlled her. At home, she redesigned her life completely. She replaced late-night distractions with early morning prayer. She replaced unhealthy habits with calm routines. She learned cooking, reading, writing, and self-respect. She managed her business again, but this time with calmness. Instead of chaos, she chose genuine friends over temporary faces. She chose peace over thrill. She chose faith over fear. And as months passed, her life became an inspiration for others. Women visited her, begging for guidance. People asked her how she found strength. She simply told them. Ayla's final stage of recovery began with a new kind of strength that she had never felt before. Her body was still fragile, but her mindset had transformed completely. She no longer woke up with fear. She woke up with calm determination. She spent her mornings in quiet reflection, her afternoons in treatment, and her evenings writing down her thoughts about everything she had learned. She no longer blamed life for her problems. She faced them with maturity. Her past choices no longer haunted her the same way. Instead, they reminded her how far she had come. The medical team noticed her progress, calling her one of the strongest patients they had seen. Her reports continued to improve. Her energy slowly returned, and her confidence grew, not the old confidence built on appearance and attention, but a new confidence built on clarity and self-respect. She learned to enjoy silence, to value rest, and to protect her mental space from anything that drained her. One night, she stood near the hospital window and realized how much she had changed. She had entered this place broken, confused, and careless, but now she understood the meaning of boundaries, the importance of health, and the power of self-control. She quietly whispered to herself, this time, I won't waste my second chance. When her final treatment cycle ended, the doctors told her she could go home if she maintained discipline and regular checkups. She walked out of the hospital with slow but steady steps, feeling as if she had been rebuilt from inside. She redesigned her entire life. She removed old habits, old routines, and old influences that once controlled her. She built new patterns, waking up early, resting properly, staying organized, managing her business with balance, and giving time to her mind instead of distractions. Her home became peaceful, her decisions became wiser, and her emotions finally became stable. People who once knew her were shocked at her transformation. Some came to ask how she survived, some asked how she rebuilt herself, and some simply admired the calmness she now carried. She would tell them, pain teaches what comfort never can. Months passed, and Allah became an example for many, an example of discipline, clarity, and self-respect. she realized that health is not just about the body. It is about the environment you choose, the people you allow near you, and the standards you set for yourself. She wrote a note and kept it on her desk. Never ignore early signs. Never destroy your own peace for temporary excitement. And never give your strength to people who don't value it. Her story became a reminder that falling is not the end. The end happens only when a person refuses to rise again, and Allah had risen